Hey, and welcome to Leftfield Tarot. Today I'm going to experiment with another new spread. This is a spread about anger with the Sabian symbols, cards, and I guess the house and planet cards. What the hell? And also, we're going to get some Leo Buscaglia cards because if you're mad, he's a great person to go to feel a bit more hopeful about the world, I think. Okay, so I'm going to use rage since that's what I wrote down. I feel like rage is more difficult to deal with. Rage to me feels more layered, more complex, more volatile, more difficult to contain. Let's see what the planet cards are before we leap in here. So we have Uranus and Saturn. Uranus is where we can't be controlled. So your freedom, progress, change, unexpected surprises, breakthroughs, nonconformity. It's the innovative maverick of the zodiac. Saturn, on the other hand, is more restrictive. Saturn's where we have a lot to learn. It's what scares us. It's our karmic lessons. It's hard facts. It's the stench of reality, facing the music, hard work, keeping your word, having discipline, integrity, your patience, your ambition, serious stuff. This is about sovereignty. This is about personal freedom, the freedom to be your authentic self. Because, I mean, these are two sort of like opposing forces here in a sense. I don't know how they, the planets feel about each other personally, but just as based on these cards, you know, Uranus is all about being yourself here, and Saturn's all about towing the line. And since Saturn is karmic and also about lessons, it feels like this is a big issue or a big theme in this lifetime, and possibly, well, I mean, if it's something karmic, then it has to do with past lifetimes as well. This is where a big shift is occurring, and it's a positive shift, but it may not feel like a positive shift. It may feel more, well, obviously this is a rage reading, so it's not all fun and games. It probably feels more like tectonic plates shifting, like the earth is moving under your feet, but not in a good Carole King way. But let's move forward because I'm just like babbling here. So, what is the origin of this rage or anger? 28 degrees Libra. I'm going to hold this up because my eyes are terrible. A man in deep gloom, unnoticed. Angels come to his help. Spiritual sustainment given to him who opens himself to his full destiny. Slow realization of betterment. Unsolicited help. Realizing you are not alone. Awareness of spiritual help. Angels, changes in the weather. People who lend a hand. On the converse side, unrealistic reliance on spiritual agencies or helpful others, being alone and forgotten. Well, since this is about anger, I don't think that you would be angry about people coming to your aid or angels coming to your aid. And I really immediately got the feel off of this that it's about feeling alone and forgotten amongst people who were supposed to be like angels, who were supposed to be spiritually intact, um, well, spiritually legit. Thank you. Yeah, that's a feeling that I get, is seeing that the people that were supposed to help you, or who maybe pretended like they were going to help you or gave off a false impression, because it feels like there's some betrayal. So let's move on to the next question, and that'll help me sort of feel it out more, because there's a couple of different hits I'm getting off of this. Well, I'll just explain them. One of them is like I said, you know, possibly like a disagreement with people who are part of a particular faith or something who don't actually uphold the values of that faith. And then the other hit I get isn't about religion at all, but it's just about the belief in people. I think that's a stronger hit. I'm getting a confirmation on that. Less to do with religion, more to do with, oh, I see. Because they're saying that religion is a front. It's not the point over which we're arguing when we have conflict with somebody over religion. It is not about the actual religion. It's more about fundamental differences, and we use religion and, well, like a scapegoat, really. Yeah, fundamental differences. That's where you would help people that needed your help. You would help people that feel alone. You would lend a hand and do what you could. And that wasn't reciprocated. It doesn't feel like it almost feels like it hasn't been reciprocated in a really long time. Which I think that's true, because a man in deep gloom, unnoticed, angels come to his help. Deep gloom and unnoticed, yeah. For gloom to be deep, it has to have longevity. So you've been giving and giving and giving, and people have been taking and taking and taking. What is currently exacerbating this rage or bringing it to the surface? So we have 18 degrees Capricorn. The Union Jack flies from a new British warship. Extreme of objectification of inner resources. Challenges to life. Splendid self. Realization. Full awareness of competition. Protectionism. Protection, the ruling elite, empires and war games, pitting people against each other. Artificial shows of strength, strong arm tactics, paranoia, rebellion, getting out the big guns. You're starting to see, or you've been beginning to see for a little while now, and it's getting more and more intense, more pressure cookery. The way that some people play games with others. The tactics and the strategies they use, and how they're not actually strong for doing that. They're weak. They're weak for doing that. Because it's not a show of strength to manipulate people. It's a show of weakness, because if you were strong, you wouldn't have the need to manipulate people. Even if you had a bullshit agenda, you would be able to speak that bullshit agenda with such style and finesse that you could sell ice to Eskimos. That would be a strong person who could come forth with a very negative, harmful idea and legitimately sell someone on it, being completely upfront about all the dangers, and still sell that person on that idea. Now that's strength. But I really do think that there is a choice between people being shitty and people being good. It's the same amount of work. Maybe they just don't see it. You're seeing the hypocrisy of people who put themselves forth as being better than the people who are actually upholding the values that the false people claim to uphold. What can the viewer do immediately to deal with this rage? So we have 15 degrees Cancer and 9 degrees Cancer. I'm going to move Uranus and Saturn if you don't mind. Okay. So 15 degrees Cancer is a group of people who have overeaten and enjoyed it. A turning to superficial things for self-strengthening, self-indulgence in sensations, and satisfying hungers. 9 degrees Cancer is a small, naked girl bending over a pond trying to catch a fish. First curiosity of being, innocent reaching out for understanding, untiring eagerness. Curiosity, grasping at abstractions, fascination with the illusory. Enjoy your food. Enjoy the feel of wind on your face. Enjoy the feel of the sun. Enjoy looking at the moon. Enjoy every little thing and every big thing that you can find to enjoy. And do your best to let your curiosity out. It feels like the people that you, or person or people, group, whatever the case, the ruling elite. Well, I mean, they don't enjoy things because if they did, then they wouldn't need to control others, right? Or exploit others, or whatever the case may be. And they certainly don't encourage enjoyment in the people that they control, oppress, or exploit, right? They, that's kind of the antithesis. They want to be the ones that are enjoying things. That makes them part of the ruling elite, right? Also, they don't want you to be curious, of course, because that means finding new answers to things that will more than likely conflict with answers that they have given, will conflict with towing the company line. These two things, enjoying the moment and allowing yourself to be curious again, in light of the emotion that you're feeling, these two things probably feel like they're going to not be the easiest. And I certainly understand that. I feel like the answer to be able to move into this area where you can start doing this is look at it as an act of rebellion. Look at it as planting your flag in your motherfucking hill, taking their flag out, throwing it in the trash, and putting your flag down. This is your emotional acre. It's not theirs. They're not allowed on the land. Particularly looking at, this isn't a bad sentence at all, particularly looking at Uranus, it's where you can't be controlled. And so this is the part where you say, you know what? The hell with you people. You're not going to take my joy. You're not going to take my capacity to enjoy things in life. You're not going to take away my curiosity, because the amount of things that they control is actually much, much smaller than they believe that amount to be. So by looking at this as an act of rebellion, by looking at this as giving them the frickin' finger, it's a way to put some parameters around them and move them off to the side, where their opinions and the structure of their world, because that's really the structure of their world and the structure of their worldview, where it fades off in the distance. It's easier than it sounds, really. You just have to find that point of perspective in the opposite direction and keep your eye on that, like you're looking through a telescope from a ship, out at sea, and you see land in the distance. Don't worry about the people that you left behind on the other shore. That's land worries. You got sea worries. You're on the ocean, You're out in the great wide open. Okay. What can you do to prevent this rage from binding you to lower energies? So we have 29 degrees Cancer, 28 degrees Cancer, dun, 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 27 degrees Cancer, and 14 degrees Libra. Bringing a little balance down there. Okay, so we got some water and a little bit of air. So see, you're out on the ocean and got a beautiful breeze. 29 degrees Cancer, a Greek muse weighing newborn twins in golden scales. The revelation of latent worth in all things through the power of creative imagination. Piercing beyond appearances. Weighing things up, seeking subtle differences, measured responses, using your intuition, fairness, inspiration, and also law and lawyers. Okay. That may be part of it. There may be some legal situations involved with these people as well, the ruling elite. I wouldn't doubt it, because the ruling elite, since they love to control things, they also love to have a lot of contracts with little loopholes and bullshit in them, right? Which is funny, because a contract is supposed to be setting things in stone so they're not misconstrued, so that everything is above board. And so it's very interesting that there's all these little clauses that can be put in them that actually subvert that intent, isn't it? It seems to me like that cancels out being able to call them contract, because they're not following the rules of the contract. Nonetheless, 28 degrees Cancer, Indian girl introduces college boyfriend to her assembled tribe. The human soul as intercession between primordial natural forces and the intellectual order, self-integration, linkage, going against the status quo, bringing in new intellectual elements, clans, tribes, new lovers, foreigners, upsetting people with alternative behavior. 27 degrees Cancer, a violent storm in a canyon filled with expensive homes. Intensification of elements necessary to arouse latent possibilities. That's the second time we've seen latent here. Rising to the occasion. A descent of cosmic power. Psychic energy unleashed on the community. Furious emotions, unexpected release of power, turbulence, instability. Nature's awesome power. 14 degrees Libra. In the heat of the noon, a man takes a siesta. Proper adjustment to the rhythm of nature. Faith in the ordered scheme of things. Injudicious dependence on others. Or knowing when to stop. Daydreams and fantasies. Meditation. Snoozing. Hammocks. Rejuvenation. Long lunch breaks. So, the first thing you can do to prevent this rage from taking over and binding you to any lower energies is get proper rest and keep your sort of surrounding area, your auric field, I guess, clear. Keep the madding crowd at a decent distance, so you don't get needless static. The lack of rest, and just even if you're not paying them any mind, being able to hear that chatter, that bullshit, these things wear you down, and when you're worn down, you're more likely to have difficulty regulating your emotions. A violent storm in a canyon filled with expensive homes. Intensification of elements necessary to arouse latent possibilities. Rising to the occasion. A descent of cosmic power, psychic energy unleashed on the community. Unexpected release of power. It seems like maybe you've got an ace in the hole here. Or you've got a great hand of cards. I pick your metaphor. Bring the noise is what I just heard. Yeah, bring the noise. And now I'm seeing Spike Lee movies. Okay. Yeah. Play your cards. That's what they're saying. Play your cards. Because there's a lot. It feels like there's a lot at stake here. But the thing is that you have a lot of power. And what I'm hopeful that this reading is going to help you do, we're trying to move in that direction, is take that power away from the rage that you feel and move it over to a constructive place where you can use it to fuel your revolution. The human soul is intercession between primordial natural forces and the intellectual order. Self-integration, linkage, going against the status quo, bringing in new intellectual elements. Fresh meat. That's what I just heard. Okay, yeah, fresh meat. You know, the energies around you have not been compatible with you. We're here in a rage reading. It's time to freshen up the it's time to freshen the punch. A Greek muse weighing newborn twins in golden scales. The revelation of latent worth in all things through the power of creative imagination, piercing beyond appearances, seeking subtle differences, measured responses, using intuition, fairness, inspiration. Start cultivating or continue cultivating the creator in you. The thing is, you cannot create without destroying. It's the nature of things. If you look at the second law of thermodynamics, if you look at entropy, I mean, basically, when you create something, even if you're not actively destroying something, you kind of are because of entropy. Because if you're not paying attention to whatever this is over here, as you're creating over here, it degrades. And so that in itself is a destruction. But that's the thing, is that with that destruction, there is the creation. And I think that things have been heavy on the destruction side, and the destruction has not been in the appropriate places. The destruction has been more in you. The destruction has happened more to you than it has to any structure in this previous energy that has been restricting you. Part of the karmic lesson here is to find that way to be the violent storm, that force of nature that you are, without becoming like them, without being simply the destructive element, but more playing whatever hand you have, but with the intent. And actually, maybe there's a way, I don't know what hand you have and what the situation is, but maybe there's a way that you play your hand, and these energies are sort of like, I mean, this sort of takes care of itself, or this is an offshoot of these things, and a natural result, like the violent storm that fucks shit up, right? That tears down the bullshit structures, possibly happens because of getting rest and allowing yourself to dream again, because of bringing in fresh energies and new intellectual pursuits, because of being able to dip back in to the imagination and the creativity that opposing forces have tried so hard to shut down. That fortifying yourself creation naturally brings a storm to the BS destruction, aka entropy, like natural destruction because of lack of paying attention. Sorry, left hand, to the, yeah. Prevent this rage from binding you to lower energies. Gogol said, criticize by creating. So don't let them have any more of your energy for their destructive BS, because that's what they're about. They're about oppressing creation because they want to be the only ones in control. I'm going with this whole ruling elite thing. I've really latched onto that. I don't know if you saw that. So the more that you move towards nurturing that creativity, fostering and supporting that curiosity and bringing it back, because I feel like you've probably been in avoidance for a while, because that's really a coping mechanism. You know, we shut things out because we simply don't have the energy to deal with them when we're overloaded, when we're overwhelmed, and when, frankly, when we're being restricted from following our natural impulse, our natural instinct, what we came here to do. Because that, I think, is really because karmic Saturn and then Uranus, where we can't be controlled, this is the issue. Your desire to do all of the things, all of the wonderful, amazing, enriching, fulfilling things that you incarnated in this existence to do. And the factors, elements, parties, entities, whatever the hell, that want to hold you back from doing exactly that. And so the trick is, the kung fu is, to do that in such a way where it doesn't degrade your joy, where it only enhances it. Completely cultivating and curating this part of you, this creative, brilliant, curious, knowledge-seeking part of you, the part of you that enjoys, the part of you that is sensual, that revels in pleasure and laughter and celebration. As they say, living well is the best revenge. Of course, other people say revenge is the best revenge. Two types of people. Okay. So, how can you stop this rage from growing? We have 25 degrees Capricorn, 29 degrees Libra, 4 degrees Scorpio, and 5 degrees Libra. 25 degrees Cap, an Oriental rug dealer in a store filled with precious ornamental rugs. First realization of cultural values through sensuous enjoyment. Hey, there's the sensuality. Refinement of sensations, psychological enrichment. Refinement of cultural understanding and values. Bargains, bartering, charging a fair price. Then we have 29 degrees Libra. Mankind's vast, enduring effort to reach for knowledge, transferable from generation to generation. Intense desire to overcome the blind life of passion and to uplift others. Intellectual vision. Tense mental outreaching. Interpreting and conveying ideas. Teaching by example. Wisdom of the ancestors. The gift of wisdom and insight. 4 degrees Scorpio, a youth holding a lit candle in a devotional ritual. Beginning of spiritual participation in the world's work. Sustained inspiration. Conscious linkage to inner realities. Simple ideals. Ceremonies and attitudes, pure and uncomplicated. Affirming intention. The light of consciousness.
5 degrees Libra, a man teaching the true inner knowledge of the new world to his students. Knowledge and experience put to the test. Greatness calling itself. Greatness calling its own to itself. Ordered seeking. Distrust of appearances. Looking within. Being a guiding light. Seeking the truth. Teachers of the new world, having the answers that others seek. Listening and learning.
Instinctual knowledge. So the way to stop this rage from growing is to look at all the bullshit that you have gone through and see how vastly valuable these experiences are, in that not for the way they made you feel, not for the effect that they may have had on your stability, security, attitudes, life, but for the knowledge that you can now share with others. As you build yourself back up, as you experiment with your creativity, as you allow your curiosity to expand and open up once again, as you learn new things that help you view what you have been through with a different perspective, a perspective that doesn't hurt as much, I think. These things are going to come out that are golden nuggets that other people desperately need, so that they don't also go through these same things. And by being able to build yourself up, to fortify the beautiful things about you, all the lovely aspects of your personality and your creativity that had like a weighted blanket thrown over them by these prior situations, you're going to be giving an example of how to not be a survivor, how to be a thriver. Because surviving is great. Yeah, we want to survive things for sure. But survivor kind of gives me this. Well, I mean, I haven't even seen the movie, but that whole Tom Hanks on the island thing or whatever. Where when you finally get done and you've survived it, past tense, you're beat to shit. And that's you. You have the power. You, person listening to this reading, have the power to elevate that template where you don't have to stay at survivor for like a long period of time in a bedraggled state, in deprivation, where you can go right, keep going up to thriving, to really blossoming. And I think through the process of opening up your curiosity, I think that it's already started actually. And the thing is that the rage has just been difficult to deal with. The anger has been difficult to deal with. And so this aspect hasn't been as prominent maybe in your focus, in your purview or whatever. But I think already you're starting to feel that spark of inspiration. It might be a tiny, tiny little spark right now, or it might be flickering larger as you contemplate the beautiful things that you have in front of you and turn your back on the darkness that you've passed through here. I think that spark it's always been alive in you. It's just been something that you haven't been able to access because you've been so overwhelmed with the BS of the structure that did not fit you, let's say. Because that covers such a wide range of situations, but they all pretty much come back to, you know, where we can't be controlled.
What steps can you take to prevent the cause of this rage
from continuing to be a problem? Okay. We have 1 degrees Taurus, 16 degrees Cancer, 10 degrees Pisces, 2 degrees Aries, 13 degrees Capricorn, 10 degrees Gemini, 20 degrees Libra, 24 degrees Libra, and 22 degrees Libra. Like I said, Spirit made it rain. So that's 9 cards. I don't know if number 9 means anything to you, but I thought I would bring that up. And we have earth, water, fire, and air. So all the elements are represented here in the steps you can take to prevent the cause of this rage from happening again. 1 degrees Taurus, a clear mountain stream. Purity, excellence, and immediate availability of the strength and power of being. Refreshment, self-sustainment, flowing energy, sure sense of direction. 16 degrees Cancer, a man studying a mandala in front of him with the help of a very ancient book. Underlying tendency to revert to root patterns of being, squaring oneself with everyday reality, control over life, gaining control of one's inner and outer life. Strategic planning, systems of thought, astrology, architecture, strategy. 10 degrees Pisces, an aviator in the clouds, transcendence of normal problems, gaining of celestial responsibilities, consummation of the highest ideals, coronation, sailing through difficulties. See, you're out on that ocean. The need for accurate navigation, being in charge of the controls. I don't know why I said controls that way, but it's funny. Controls. Seeking higher truths. 2 degrees Aries, a comedian entertaining the group. Objective understanding through extracting salient elements of being. Joy of life's discoveries or escape through humor. Seeing the light side, being the life of the party, having insight. Putting on a show, knowing when to say when. 13 degrees Cap. Woo. A fire worshipper meditates on the ultimate realities of existence. Firm establishment upon immemorial principles. Consciousness of absolute unity. Depth of soul penetration. Self-conquest. Kundalini. Reaching for a higher state of being. Questions of existence. The meaning of life. It's not too large or anything, the meaning of life. That's just, just a little thing. 10 degrees Gemini. Aeroplane performing a nosedive. Capacity to plunge into experience without surrender. Without surrendering one's principles of self-control. Self-expansion through sacrifice. Being saved at the last moment. Daredevil stunts. Shake-ups. A Jewish rabbi performing his duties for 20 degrees Libra. Interest in permanent rather than transient values. Accumulation of ancient wisdom brought to use. Competent service. Ancient sources of truth and understanding. Faith in abiding laws, inherited wisdom. Making life's journey. 24 degrees Libra. A third wing on the left side of a butterfly. Potentiality of new forms and opportunities in everyday life. Instinctive expansion of self or submergence in the not-self. Creative overbalance, oddities, beautiful imperfections, one side being more perfect than the other. And 22 degrees Libra. A child giving birth to drink at a fountain. Intuitive understanding of simple, soul inspirational matters. Youthful life enjoyment. Fresh grasp of the soul's needs. Enjoyment of nourishing simple souls. Innocent reaching out.
interacting with nature, water and the need for it, hydration, moments of innocence.
Well, immediately I get the hit. I'm just going to start here, even though it's not a logical place to start. And maybe that means something. Third wing on the left side of a butterfly. Potentiality of new forms and opportunities in everyday life. Expansion of self. Beautiful imperfections. I feel like what this is saying is that in doing this, it's likely that you are going to discover or give support to parts of yourself that perhaps you withheld due to the overbearing of the elite structure or the rigidity of whatever situation you were dealing with. And it's going to feel a bit foreign and odd, but know that it's the right thing and know how beautiful these parts, which may have been judged by others as being imperfect, know how beautiful these parts are, because they truly are. And people who judge things, they're not giving a verdict on, even if they think they are, it doesn't matter what they think, they're not giving a verdict on the actuality of the things they judge. What they're doing is they're giving a demonstration of who they are fundamentally and their limitations. The limitations of their observation and contemplation. 22 degrees Libra, a child giving birds a drink at the fountain, intuitive understanding of simple soul's inspirational matters, youthful life enjoyment, fresh grasp of the soul's needs. Feed your soul. Things needn't be complicated. They needn't have a lot of accoutrements. If you enjoy something, enjoy it. It doesn't matter what sentiments the culture has attached to something. It matters what you attach to something. It doesn't matter what others think. It matters what you think. The idea that it matters what others think is a hypnotism placed upon us by the mere fact that somebody voices an opinion, we think that it deserves an audience. Not all opinions do, frankly. 20 degrees Libra, a Jewish rabbi performing his duties. Interest in permanent rather than transient values. Accumulation of ancient wisdom brought to use. Competent service. You're building your own tradition. You are the architect of your foundation, and the foundation that you build, this new foundation, you want it to be permanent. You don't want it to be one of those Hollywood sets on wheels that they just sort of roll in and then roll out, and here today, gone tomorrow. Because especially in opening up the creative part of you, in opening up the part of you that has so much wisdom, valuable knowledge to share with others, you need to have a firm foundation to go from for that. You can't, it's very, very difficult, if not impossible, and it's unnecessarily taxing and depleting to attempt to create from an ever-changing base. So, making sure that your foundation has structure in it and integrity in its structure. It's structurally intact, that it's solid, that there's nothing coming in, like there's no sort of I think of termites, but I mean, you don't, for a foundation, you don't use wood, it's concrete. So, I mean, if there was a concrete termite, right? Let's pretend, just not letting anything, or okay, we don't put a foundation where there's a sinkhole. That's pretty much it. We don't put a foundation where there's a sinkhole or where there's the possibility of one. And the experience that you've gotten from all the BS, you probably have quite a lot of information now of what are the, in hindsight's 2020. So what are the red flags that indicated to you beforehand that you didn't yet know how to read, but do now, that indicated to you there was a sinkhole? And that also is the information that you can share with others, because clearly you're a brilliant person. And if you didn't see those red flags, or if you didn't know how to interpret them, it's extremely likely that there are many, many other people in that same situation that desperately need that information from you so that they will know.
10 degrees Gemini, aeroplane performing a nosedive. Capacity to plunge into experience without surrendering
One's principles. And that's like the key, one of the key issues here. You should not have to sacrifice your ethics, your values, what you believe to be true, in order to plunge into experience, in order to have rich or detailed elements in your life, which I don't even think that these were rich or detailed. I mean, maybe rich in money, elite class or something, but I mean, clearly, if whatever this was is an oppressive force, there's nothing rich or detailed about oppression. It's very cut and dry and boring, very tedious. There's nothing original there. That's oppression has been going on since the dawn of time. So I think maybe the dawn of time is where I think the dawn of time and oppression sort of like skipped in holding hands, because probably, before the concept of time, things were pretty groovy around here. You know what I mean? um,
1 degree Taurus, a clear mountain stream, purity, excellence, immediate availability of the strength and power of being, refreshment, self-sustainment, flowing energy. Fluid bloodlines and ancestry, water is a resource, cleaning, cleansing, baptism, physical, spiritual, or intellectual, fitness.
it says smugness there, but there was a fitness thing earlier, and that's the hit I got, was that having fitness on these levels, replenishment, hydration, taking in things that are good for you, taking in all the things that are good for you. You need to find your oasis, the place where what you take in is good for you, where you're not forced to take in things that are toxic. 16 degrees Cancer.
A man studying a mandala in front of him with the help of a very ancient book. Underlying tendency to revert to root patterns of being, squaring oneself with everyday reality, gaining control of one's inner and outer life. Meditation, astrology, Tibetan monks, mandalas,
Systems of thought, maps. Taking the old that works and that feels resonant with you, leaving behind the old that holds you down and doesn't feed your soul. Squaring oneself with everyday reality, having control over your inner and outer life, where you are the boss and you only take in those things that are good for you. And the structure that you build upon, every piece of materials in that structure are pure. You're not building with wood that's been treated with formaldehyde. You're not painting with paint that has lead in it. The earth that you are building on does not have all sorts of trace chemicals. Because you are in charge of choosing the materials with which you build. You are the quality control now. A big part of the problem is under states of oppression. That means that other people are doing the quality control, and tendency of oppressors to also be efficient quality controllers. Yeah.
An aviator in the clouds for 10 degrees Pisces. I think I read it backwards last time too. Transcendence of normal problems, gaining of celestial responsibilities, consummation of the highest ideals, coronation, sailing through difficulties, the need for accurate navigation, being in charge of the controls, seeking higher truths, mystery,
Compasses, pilots. You're ascending through these difficulties. And I mean, I know it's like they need to have more of an adjective than that. Difficulties is putting it lightly. But through them you're opening up parts of yourself. You're getting new light codes. You're getting new fortification from the stars is what I just heard. Yeah. Yeah, you're actually you're bringing stuff down in this process because it's forcing you to examine things in such a contemplative manner, and it's giving you this new perspective. And the thing is, you have so much personal power that the mere process of you examining things and being able to see things for how they are, being able to see the ways that you have been oppressed, and being able to see to move it over. Let's not, because remember, we want to focus on the good that is coming and that is emerging and that is here, and not the bad which is passing away. So I want to just, we're not going to concentrate on how much you've been oppressed. There's time for that when you have more energy and more fortification, so you can go back and begin to decide what it is that you can share with others. But for now, let's just say, okay, it was some bullshit and put it to the side. And then look over here. Because this is opening up all of the potential and possibilities that you came to this existence with, and it is so enormous. Wow, it's so enormous. I'm almost going to start crying here. I don't know. Wow. Okay, wow. Let's go on to the comedian, because this is, know that you have intense, wonderful personal power. I feel like this has been going on a really long time. Like the only way they could have put this over on you is if they got you really, really young. I really feel that. Like they had to get you really, really fucking young to be able to pull the wool over your eyes. Because you are that powerful. I bet these fuckers are running scared now. Sorry. I bet they are, though. I mean, how could they not? Because, wow, man, I'm really getting your energy here. And I'm seeing orbs and all the whole nine. A comedian entertaining the group 2 degrees 2 degrees Aries. Getting all over myself here. Objective understanding through extracting salient elements of being. Joy of life's discovery of escape through humor. No, my comedian guides are like hollering right now. Yes. 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 They're saying you have so much material you can't even imagine right now. All the shit that you've got. They're saying you've got gold upon gold upon gold. And actually, uh, a couple of my comedian guys just told me that they're actually hanging out with you. You're gonna have help finding the levity in this situation. And if you haven't yet, when you have quiet time to yourself, and especially if you meditate, have a little meditation or a little quiet time just to say, hey, comedy guides, where are you? Come here. Help show me the humor in this. Show me the funny. They'll be glad to. They'd be thrilled to. 13 degrees Cap. A fire worshiper meditates on the ultimate realities of existence. Firm establishment upon immemorial principles. Consciousness of absolute unity, depth of soul penetration, self-conquest, reaching for a higher state of being. The questions of existence meditation. Incense. Incense and peppermints candles are drawing. Okay, thanks, guides. Thank you, DJ Spirit. um, Sink into these things. Sink into these questions that have been put upon your plate, because they're going to be tasty. They're going to be soul food. This is what you've been hungry for. See, have we gone through all these? Did we do a child giving birth drinking a fountain? Yes, we didn't. Okay. Just making sure that I got all these. Okay, yeah. Okay, so hopefully that helps as far as what steps you can do to prevent it from continuing to be a problem. The biggest part of it is cultivate this new consciousness, cultivate this ascension, cultivate this enjoyment, allowing yourself to feel pleasure, to be sensual, to be curious. Fresh air, fresh meat. Okay, let's see what else we have here. So we have my little mini index cards. We're going to see. Construction time again. Oh, all right. Love is looking for you. Underlined. Exclamation point. Slowly and with a big stick. Stick it together. Crystals. Home. That's nice. Get ready. Angelic assistance. Brand new territory. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is a part of your life where love walks in. And the angels have never left your side. Even if you couldn't feel them, they've been with you. I just heard they've been with you since you were born. Get ready, because love is looking for you. And it's construction time again. Time to build. Build what feels like home. Feed what feels like home. Enjoy the feeling of home. That's brand new territory for you. Don't broadcast your next move. Walk slowly and quietly and carry a big stick. So you've got your hand that you're going to play, but don't fire any warning shots. Just do your due. Crystals is here, I think, for 2 reasons. That it's an excellent idea to spend some time with crystals, because crystals do raise your vibration. Crystals entrain things around them. They raise the vibration of everything that they're around. Looking into crystals, I would recommend like rose quartz for healing, angelite, angel aura quartz would be good, and always amethyst for connecting with this angelic assistance. Lepidolite is good for soothing the emotions. So is rhodochrosite. And then blue kyanite or black kyanite, really any kyanite, will balance all of your chakras. Blue kyanite is really pretty. So if you're gonna get, I mean, people always say, "Oh, you should pick up this, you should pick up that," and frankly, I get sad in readings when people say, "Oh, you should pick up this, you should pick up that," because I can't really like pick up like basic essentials at the moment. So I don't want to give you too many things like to go pick up. So I would say maybe a white protection candle, just like any white candle, and a piece of blue kyanite to meditate. But you've got angelic assistance. So the thing is that even if you can't get any of the things I just mentioned, the most important things that you can do are free. Getting enough rest, keeping hydrated with fresh, clean water, leafy green vegetables, good foods, fresh fruit, fresh air, sitting in the grass, afternoon naps, taking the pressure off yourself. Because you're building a life where you're not going to be under that strict whip cracking bullshit of always feeling like, oh, what's going to hit the fan next? Or I'm going to get in trouble for something, or something isn't going to go well. Where you're not in the flow, so every edge is jagged. You're moving out of that place into the smooth sailing. The other thing I get off of crystals, though, is much how crystals entrain the things around them. The process of your elevation is in training the things around you, because you're so personally powerful that each improvement in energy, no matter how small, each incremental elevation of your energy is also elevating everything around you. So know that you're doing so much more than just for yourself, but what you're doing for yourself is amazing. And whatever actions you have taken so far to get to the point where you're even confronting this rage that you have, because like I said, they would have had to have, they've been doing this for a while, whoever they is and whatever this is. Let's look at your archetype cards that, oh, look at that. Visionary and guide. Docent, host, teacher, counselor. Prophet, muse, innovator, vanguard. You are a template. You are a walking template. And you definitely are bringing down information to this earth that has not had a home here previously. New, innovative, visionary energies. So when you get low, when it feels like it's all too much, you remember Spirit said you are a visionary. Spirit said you are a guide and a teacher. You are a prophet. You are an innovator. You are a muse. You are so important to this world. And that comes from the Most High. Oh, I saw so many flashes in the corner of my eyes when I said that, so I know that it is true. And finally, we're going to talk to Leo Buscaglia. Leo's all about love. So I figured for a rage reading, we needed to have Leo weigh in and find out what he had to say. So first thing he has to say is, love is learned best in wonder, in joy, in peace, in living. Yes, in alignment. In alignment with who you are. And you deserve that. You deserve nothing less than that. There's a Hindu tale about a man in a small boat rowing up a fast-flowing river against the current. After a great battle, he discovers the effort is futile, so he gives up his oars and begins to sing. This moment teaches him a new way of life. Only when he goes with the changing river is man truly free. I'm going to let that one stand for itself. Finally, Real love always creates, it never destroys. In this lies man's only promise. This is what you are doing, and you are showing real love to yourself, to the ones you hold dear, and to the world by going through this incredibly difficult, challenging, but ultimately, I promise you, fulfilling experience. That's all that you deserve in life, is that which supports you, that love that supports you, that helps you create, that creates a safe haven for you. You do not deserve something destructive that masquerades as love. You deserve only love. Because honestly, love is what you are. So you deserve that back. And if that seems like a strange thing to be told that you are love, it doesn't feel strange because it's lacking in truth. This is 100% truth. You are the embodiment of love. And it's time that you are able to enjoy being that, and that you are free to share that with the world in the ways that you see fit. I really hope that this has been helpful, and I send you so much love. And you're brave and you're strong as fuck. You got this, don't worry. Love and light. Take care.